glad you're here. My name is Kelsey, and I'm going to be one of your teachers today. And I'm with CodeJoy, so I'm the host of CodeJoy and also one of the lead teachers here. But we have another really special teacher with us today. This is Cecilia.
Hello, everyone. I'm Cecilia Hillway. I love making stuff, art is my main thing. I make robots. I love drawing and sketching.
And Cecilia is an amazingly talented artist, sketchbook artist, but also all of your drawings, Cecilia, you once opened up your regular old notebook to me, and I thought that it was a published children's book. You're so talented.
Thank you.
And I'm so glad that you're here to join us today because we're gonna talk about how to make some pop-up books. So we're gonna look at some examples of those in a second. But it's not just me and Cecilia here today. It's actually a bunch of people from all over the world learning together. So if you'd like to introduce yourself, here's how you raise your hand at Zoom School. Put your hand right in front of the camera and wave it back and forth. And I want you to tell me your name and your favorite book or series of books. Who wants to introduce themselves? How about you, Gemma? We'll unmute you so that you can be heard. There you go.
My name is Gemma, and I'm from Calgary.
All right.
And my
What's your
favorite book is Dragon Masters.
Dragon Masters. That sounds really good. I haven't read that book, but it sounds really fun. Let's go to Kimber. Kimber, why don't you say just your name and your favorite book right now?
Okay. My name's Kimber, and my favorite series of books is Harry Potter.
Harry Potter. I am such a fan of Harry Potter.
I'm reading the last book right now.
Yeah. Oh, you're reading the last one. Is this the first time you've read it?
Yes.
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited for you, and I won't say anything. Okay, let's go to Sigrid. Why don't you introduce yourself, Sigrid, with your name and your favorite book?
My name is Sigrid, and my favorite book series is the Asterix book series.
The Asterisk?
Asterix.
Asterix.
It's
That's
French
a hard word.
books.
Oh, very cool. It's French?
Yeah, but it's translated into English. And I also, German.
Cool. I love that. Well, let's go to Aviva. Aviva, what is your favorite book right now?
My favorite books. I've still been liking The Ghost of the Creepy Castle and The Door Under the Stairs, which are two pop-up books.
Ooh, what a fabulous thing. You have some pop-up books there. I'd love for you to share those later as we investigate some pop-up books. Does anybody else want to introduce themselves today? How about you, Micah? Let's go spotlight you. Say your name and your favorite book right now.
My name is Micah Turner, and I don't really have a favorite book, but I have a favorite author.
Oh, who's that?
Rick Riordan.
I love Rick Riordan. They do the Percy Jackson series, right? Or he does the
Here's one.
Oh, nice. Yeah, very cool. You know, I haven't read those books yet. I used to be a middle school English teacher, and when I was, those books were really, really popular, and I just never quite got to them. But you're inspiring me, you guys, to get back into it and read some more books. This is great. So let's take a look at our maker project today. So we're going to be taking a look at pop-up books. So I'm going to show you an example of a pop-up book that I have made before Cecilia shows you hers, because hers are really, really good, and I want to manage expectation. So here's a little pop-up book that I made. It's called Bad Jokes for Good People. That's what I decided it's called. And when I open it up, it's a joke. Why did the dinosaur cross the road? And there's this mouth that pops up and down that Cecilia taught me how to make. And then the answer to the joke, are you ready, is because the chicken didn't exist yet. So if I start out, it's supposed to start out here. Oops. So there's the dinosaur. And then there's an Archaeopteryx, which is sort of a feathered dinosaur. And then we have millions of years leads to a chicken. Because the chicken didn't exist yet. That's why the dinosaur crossed the road. So that is my very silly, entirely paper and tape and scissors and marker pop-up book. And actually, that is what you should grab as well. If you're making here on Zoom, or if you're making on any of the platforms where you're watching, you should grab some paper, or cardstock is really best, which is that kind of thick paper. But if you don't have cardstock, you can use paper or cardstock, or you could also use like this thin cardboard that you might find. This is my quarantine food of choice right now. So you could use some of this thin, it's called chipboard. This nice thin cardboard would work really well as well. So go find those supplies, gather them around you, and let's go to Cecilia, because I'd love to see some of the pop-up books that you have been making and some of the pop-up things that you have been making. Oh, cool. I like you have a top-down camera. Okay. Tell us about this book.
So this is my sample that I made. So we have the chickens. This is a very simple mechanism. We'll talk about this one tomorrow. But so they're like, oh, what's happening? You know,
Ball goes over the fence. Oh.
and this is my speaking chicken.
Mine.
And then the other chicken. So one is saying it's mine, and the other one is no, it's mine. So then it starts like that, and they can look at each other. Then they're running to get the ball because they think it's theirs, and they crash, and the ball goes over the fence, which the neighbor is very grateful because it was his ball all along. So that's one I made.
I love that so much. I remember seeing that one. You've made a couple pop-up books that you shared on Twitter, and both of them have made me spit various things across the room. One of them I spit pizza across the room, and one of them I spit tea, I think. So basically, I have had to do a lot of cleanup because of Cecilia Hillway.
Of course.
Let's take a look at this one. This one's so cute.
So this one is one of the mechanisms we're gonna be talking about today. It's very simple. The mouth. You can do very simple. It can be a very small mouth, like this little owl.
Oh,
And you can see this is regular paper. It's not. This is cardstock, but this is regular paper. This is probably the one that I'll be working on today. It's a dog. So
is that a weenie dog or a wiener dog?
Yes, yes, he is. So for him, I actually made a little
prototype there.
Prototype thing first,
Yeah.
because I wanted the snout to be exactly the way I wanted it, and this is just regular paper.
Yeah.
So you can see that with just regular paper, it still works.
Still works, yeah. So actually, if we can come back to Spotlight Me here, basically what I want to, you can basically make any pop-up book you want. But saying to someone, hey, go ahead and write a book and make a pop-up book is like kind of a lot to ask of a person. So what we wanted to do is we wanted to kind of give you a structure for what you could do for your pop-up book. So for a pop-up book, we figured we could use the why did the blank cross the road joke. So this basic joke, does anybody know the basic joke if we go back to gallery mode? Does anybody know like the basic why did the blank cross the road joke? The very first one. Raise your hand if you know what that joke is. Do you know it, Sigrid? Yeah. Let's go to you. We're going to spotlight you and you can unmute yourself. There you go. What's the basic why did the blank cross the road joke? And then we'll take a look at your pop-up book.
Why did the chicken cross the road?
Why?
To get to the other side.
To get to the other side, exactly. So that's the basic, like, why did the blank cross the road joke? And I was looking up the history of that joke, and it actually first appeared in 1847, which means it's a really old joke. And it's actually like an anti-joke, because you think that something funny is going to be there. Like, why did the chicken cross the road? Because it was late for a bank appointment or something like that. But it's just to get to the other side. So it's a really simple joke. But that's basically what I did here. I did, why did the dinosaur cross the road? So I was like riffing on that joke because the chicken didn't exist yet, right? So it was kind of riffing on or building on that original why did the chicken cross the road joke. So you guys, right now, you can Google why did the blank cross the road joke, and we figure the first mechanism that we're going to make, we're all going to make a mouth mechanism like this. So why did the blank cross the road? You'll make whatever that is, and you'll make this little mouth mechanism. Let's take a look at Cecilia's. She has a why did the blank cross the road joke. Do you want to show us your crocodile one?
Oh, the crocodile is in progress, but I can show you how it's going to go. So you saw the crocodile. So the crocodile crossed the road.
Why did the crocodile cross the road?
And I made a little sketch because this is how I work. I make little tiny sketches, and you will see that he's going to be acting like a chicken. So he crossed the road because he thought he was a chicken. So that's going to be the joke.
So why did the crocodile cross the road? Because he thought he was a chicken. That's great. So here's the first thing that we're going to do. We're going to make this moving mouth thing. So you could perhaps already know what your joke is going to be. So it might be another funny one that I found was, why did the cactus cross the road? Because it was stuck to the chicken's back. Or why did the gum cross the road? Because it was stuck to the chicken's foot. Or why did the dog cross the road? Because it was chasing the chicken, etc. Oh, I think we have a cactus, actually. If you want to do that cactus joke, you can use Sigrid's cactus as your model there.
I actually have another cactus.
Whoa, you have a bunch of cool cactuses.
And another cactus that is barely as tall as my finger.
Oh, it's so tiny. It's so cute. So the first thing we're going to do, so I'm going to get you guys started on our first part of the maker activity, is if you grab your piece of paper or your cardstock or whatever, you're going to bend it in half. That's your first step. And once you do, you're going to draw out whatever your thing is to make the mouth of it. So Cecilia had drawn out a puppy dog. You saw a crocodile and a dinosaur. You saw the chicken that she did in her soccer chicken joke one. So I'm going to just do that basic why did the chicken cross the road joke. So I'm going to draw out my chicken's head. Da-da-da-da-da-da. And then I'm going to draw it as if the mouth is closed. So here's going to be the chicken's beak being closed. That's where that's going to be. And I'll go ahead and draw this in marker and put it on something so that you guys can see it a little bit better. You guys will probably have way better looking projects than I do, but that's okay. Because I'm kind of thinking of this as like a prototype, kind of. There we go. I'm going to grab a thicker marker. Here we go. So here's going to be my chicken.
You need to draw it.
So you're going to draw your animal or your character, whatever it is. And like I said, draw it like the mouth is closed. And here's going to be my chicken's eyes. Let's see. There we go. I'm going to give my chicken a little doohickey. There we go. And then the next step, am I right, Cecilia? The next step is to cut along the outside of the mouth. Is that what comes next? Can you show us on yours? Oh, that's a great cactus. Look at that cactus. So are you cutting the mouth of your cactus now?
So instead of a mouth, I'm going to do the cactus myself. But so what I find easier is, instead of drawing the mouth, is to cut it first, just because it's easier to have it be symmetrical.
That might be true. You might cut first and then draw the.
Let's pretend that this really quickly. This is a mouth. I'm just going to go like that. So if that were a mouth, I would fold it. Probably will make another one with a mouth so you can see better, because this is kind of like a weird example with a cactus. Because I did this.
Okay, I see. So you folded it so that when you close the book, it's kind of folded up all the way out. So if we come back to mine here, you might use, if you've got scissors, you can use scissors, or I've got a blade, so I'm going to cut along the mouth here. Or let me show you how you might cut if you've got scissors. You might have to make sort of like a teensy weensy little, I saw Cecilia fold hers back the other way, so I'm going to fold it back the other way. So you could cut like that. And I'm going to cut along the mouth here. There we go. So you could, like Cecilia said, you could make the cut first or you could draw the thing first, either way. And then this part is what's tricky, I think. So I folded it here. So I'm folding it so I can see it. And then she kind of folded hers up like that. And then you folded it kind of up the other way like this. So that way
you
it's going to
fold it in one direction, then you fold it the other direction just to make that seam very nice and crisp.
So then you fold your book seam back the other way, kind of, there we go. It's sort of a gentle thing, especially because I'm working with like paper, you know. All right, so now it's folded how I want it to be, and I'm going to give it a nice like hard crease there. There we go. There we go. It's kind of looking like Woody the Woodpecker for me. So just kind of by folding it, I started with it down, but then I kind of folded it the other way so that now the mouth is opening and closing. Cecilia's got one too. Do you want to show the one you're showing? Yeah.
Sure. So I started by just cutting, and I fold it up, fold it the other way, because you want really nice fold, and you open it, and you fold it inside, and then once
It looks
you
like that
close
cardstock is working really nice for you too. You can definitely do it with paper like I am, but that cardstock is working.
Yeah, the
out
cardstock is very nice, I find,
Good stuff.
especially if you make a big snout like the crocodile or like a big beak.
Yeah.
The cardstock works really well.
Yeah. So now what I'm doing on mine, now that I have the beak drawn and I have the folds on there, I'm going to go back and kind of go in there like this. And then I'm going to write along the bottom, why did the chicken cross the road? I'm going to write that along the bottom here, and I'm going to color it in. So while we're working on that, and if you have any questions, be sure to raise your hand, or you can ask it in the chat as well. As you guys are working on yours, Cecilia, you said you love pop-up books too. Do you have any pop-up books, like published pop-up books, to show off a little bit?
Sure. So this one was a book that has been handed down my family. Like I'm the youngest out of 5, and this one made it all the way to me. But you can see how like it's very beaten and battered just because, kids. So like for example, it's missing some stuff, but this is one of the mechanisms that we're going to talk about tomorrow. So I just love how you can have the storytelling so simple. You have the 4 shelves,
They all fell
fall
down the stairs.
Oh, this one is completely missing. Like I said, this poor book has survived a lot. So
That book has seen things, hasn't it?
Yeah. So this one is just like a little flap, but it still has the storytelling element, which I love, like the before and after. This has.
Oh, that's got, like, mine has a little turning wheel mechanism in it.
So this
that's
one,
like that. Oh, look at the cuckoo clock coming out too. That's
she's
cool.
getting a little stuck, but yeah. So I mean, it's gorgeous, and like all the simple things that they can plan, and this one just like you would open the little flaps.
And see what's in there.
So this one is I love it, but it's very simple. Well, as far as pop-ups go. This one, didn't realize my camera was a little too close to this, but let's see. So this one is way more elaborate. So
yeah, as you open and close that one, the eyes kind of look up and down. That is cool. You know what this reminds me of a little bit is it reminds me kind of like origami.
Hmm.
A little bit. Like it's basically just like fancy folds, you know?
It is. What I love about pop-ups is that if you see them from the side, or
Yeah.
like you can see some of the mechanism. This one is not as clear. Let's see if you can see. So this one, you see some of the paper, and some of it is folded in a way that it makes things pop out. This is
Yeah.
a birthday card, and they have the same thing. And I don't know if you can see, but it's
Yeah.
like very simple in that you have that rectangle, but
Yep.
here you have some folds that make it pop out.
Yeah. Oh, I
But
love how that like moves as you turn it out.
mhm.
That's so funny.
Yeah, the ones we are doing are going to be a little more simple than that, but like this is just like to let you see just how many different ways you can have of making the pop-ups like come to life. Like
Oh,
this
I
one, the
love
little
that Joey popping out.
Joey.
And the kangaroo's head moves too. That's cool.
Hmm.
Well,
So
let's take a look back here, because maybe you haven't finished adding all the details you want to this, but this is like the first page of our book. So why did the chicken cross the road? And you've got a mouth that's popping out somewhere. Does anybody have a mouth that they've finished or that kind of looks like it's getting ready to be done? Yeah, let's take a look at some of these. Let's look at Micah's. Let me see yours, Micah. Hold that up. Why did the what is that? We'll come spotlight you again.
It's a soccer ball.
Oh, look at your cool like um, Nike symbol, and you're finishing drawing all the things. Why did the soccer ball cross the road? That's awesome. I love that. So when you close it, the mouth when you close the book, the mouth opens, and then when you open the book, the mouth kind of closes a little bit. Cool. That's great. I'm excited to hear the punchline to it. Let's look at Gemma's. Gemma's holding hers up. Ooh, that is a fabulous looking chicken, Gemma. That's looking great. I love the like doodle bop thing that you have on his head. It's really cute.
Thank
I
you.
love it. Yeah. Does anybody else have one they want to show off that the mouth is working on theirs? Looks like Kimber does. Let's take a look at yours, Kimber. Let's see your mouth part. Woo! Look at that. Why did the chicken cross the road? Yes. Loving it. Beautiful. Love it. Okay. So we've
And
done our first. Oh, go ahead, Matt.
Kelsey, before we go too much further, we just had a request to see a few more, or see the steps to cut the paper
Yeah.
and fold it just one more time. If
Totally.
That's okay.
It's super simple to do. Let me show you again. Let me show you that one, those first couple steps. So I'm going to grab my paper. And Cecilia kind of showed the easiest way. So it's kind of like four steps here. So step one is fold it hamburger style. if you can do that. So fold it hamburger style. And then you can make a cut. So if I look back at mine here, the cut is going to kind of go up. So rather than the cup going down, the cut is going to go up. So I'm going to make a cut up here. And that's going to be the mouth. I'm going to fold it one way, fold it the other way to get a nice good fold on there. And then when I open it back up, I'll pop this out and kind of redo the fold as I'm closing the book. I'm folding it up. And now I'm going to give it a nice sturdy fold there. So now I've got a mouth, and that mouth could turn into whatever we wanted it to turn into, a chicken or an eagle or a cactus or a puppy dog or whatever you're doing there. Yeah? And what are you doing there, Cecilia?
I was going to just show you, you can do just a straight cut.
Ah, how does that work?
So I'm going to fold this
Uh-huh.
like that, and fold the one in the bottom like that
Oh,
too.
that's how you did the little owl, isn't it?
Yeah, so now I'm like folding it the other way, both folds,
You can do
just
sort of
because
like
we,
one lip or two lips. You can just do a top lip, or you can do a top and a bottom. And you're showing us to
So-
have like a top and a bottom one.
yeah, so
That's
now I'm
really cool.
pushing it through. Oh, with
I mentioned,
regular
if,
paper is a little trickier than with
yeah.
cardstock.
um, if you're going with us live on Zoom or live on any of the other places, you might kind of like try a couple different ones, because you can think of our time together today as like your time to make your prototype, and then later on you can finish that kind of after we're done. I want to take a look at Amanda Jean's, because you're making something very beautiful. Oh, he's so cute. Look at those big eyes. That's adorable.
So I'm doing a cow joke. And I got my cow working and everything.
Uh-huh.
Good. But I wanted to follow your directions, so I decided to do like a birdie kind of thing too. 'Cause
Yeah. You can try a bunch of different ones. We're going nice and slow here today. We're not trying to leave anybody in the dust. So you can try a couple different things. All right. So while we've gotten our mouths going, it looks like just about everybody has at least one working mouth. This is good. Now, we're going to take a look at like the second page, the follow-up of our joke. So why did the blank cross the road? We've got a working mouth here. And then for the punchline, for the funny part, here we go. For the funny part, you could do a wheel like what I have here. And this one's pretty simple. I made a wheel that's pretty oversized. I wanted it to stick out beyond the, I wanted it to stick out beyond the edge of the page over here, so that as I turn it, I could do that. And then it's got a little viewing screen, so you can see each part as it's highlighted in the viewing screen here. So that's one way that you could make this sort of like cutout situation. This is from a different class that I did, where we were talking about famous works of art. Does anybody recognize what famous work of art this is supposed to be? If you do, raise your hand and we'll call on you. Do you recognize what famous work of art is supposed to be? How about you, Kimber? What is it?
The Mona Lisa.
Yeah, it's the Mona Lisa. It's a very silly version of the Mona Lisa. But what I did is I made this little tab that can make the eyes look back and forth. This is just like what Cecilia did with the chickens in her chicken joke. She had the chickens moving back and forth. And this mechanism, this one's super, super simple. I just kind of cut 2 strips of paper and taped them down. And then there's this other strip of paper that kind of goes in that channel there. So strip 1, strip 2, strip 3, and strip 3 is what can move back here. So that's really simple, really easy. You can do, that's one sort of like tab that you could do. It looks like Cecilia has another example of what you could do with a little tab.
So this one is the rough version. So what this is kind of like the eyes. You have position number 1, which is like, why would he cross? And then
Why would
you
the
move
crocodile
it.
cross the road, right?
Yeah, and you move it and you highlight it. So this is one I was working on. This is not a very funny joke, honestly. So so you have like, my camera is kind of having trouble focusing.
Yeah,
Huh?
it keeps refocusing. That's all right. I love all these little
Second, let
characters
me
you're
see if I
bringing to
can
life over
stop
there.
that. Sorry.
That's all right. So what Cecilia did with hers, if I can kind of show you on mine. Oh, there we go. She's got it focused. That's great. Oh, there it is, and there's the crocodile acting like a chicken.
So actually, no, this is the dog. So I had the version of my dog. So he would be like, why did the dog cross the road?
Uh-huh.
And you would show it, and he would be with a little mask and stuff, and it would be because he's supposed to keep his social distance.
Because he's keeping his social distance. Oh, that's a whole separate joke. Why did the dog cross the road? Because he's social distancing. Looks like Aviva has a quick question. Let's go to you, Aviva. Yeah.
How do we make the other pages?
The other pages. That's what we're taking a look at right now. That's a perfect question. So page 1 is the mouth, and page 2, you can either do a pull tab like this one, and that's the one that I'm gonna do. Actually, I'm gonna make this simple one, or you can make this a little bit more complicated one. Like it's actually not that much more complicated. It's just a different design. I won't say it's more complicated.
How do
This one,
like
which
How do you attach the pages though?
How do you attach the pages? I literally just taped them together. So I made them separately. So you've got page 1 and that one's done and you can kind of set that one off to the side. And then we're going to make page 2 and after we're all done, then we're going to stick them together. Does that make sense? Perfect. Great question. Okay. So there's those two different versions of the pull tab and then there's this wheel. The wheel was again pretty simple. I attached it with a brad here, this little bendy brad. And so this can spin on its own. And then I cut out a little viewing screen to show the different things, the different evolutions of dinosaurs into chickens. So that one's pretty easy. You could make that one as the punchline of your joke. The setup is all the information before, and the punchline is what makes you laugh. I think for mine, let's see, what's the punchline gonna be? Why did the chicken cross the road? I'm gonna say
To a social distancing.
I like the social distancing one. I think I'll do that one. That one's really funny, Cecilia. So my second page, and I'll grab another sheet of paper. I'm gonna do to keep it social distance. So I will step 1. It's kind of always to fold your paper, like so. And then I'm gonna make the eyes move on mine. So Cecilia's doing sort of like a question mark and then you pull it and then it's the answer to the joke. I'm gonna make a chicken and I'm gonna make the eyes move. So step 1 is to draw out what I think it should be and I'm gonna make sure the eyes are really big because I'm gonna cut those holes out so that I've got kind of 2 pieces. I've got the front piece with the eyes with the holes cut out and then the back piece is gonna be the pupils.
And Kelsey,
yeah,
we just had a question. Someone was wondering if there's an alternative to the brad.
Yeah. If you don't have a brad, actually Cecilia has a really good answer to if you don't have a brad and you want to make that little wheel. Do you want to show people how to make that out of paper?
Sure thing. So what I have here is this is a little strip of paper that I taped over. So let's pretend this is my strip of paper. Then I taped it so across. So this is my thing. And then my wheel fell down, sorry. So now you can put the strip of paper through the hole on the circle. So like that, it just keeps it like
then
that.
you
So
cut out a little bit of your page. That's cool, so it doesn't stick out the edge too. That's
yeah,
cool.
So like I said, it's just mine is rounded just because I kept cutting off the strips, but yeah, like I said, it's 3 pieces. You have the wheel, you have the paper you're putting it to, and the little strip that you're going to.
And that little strip, it looks like that little strip is kind of shaped like a barbell. If I can draw what that strip of paper looks like here, the strip of paper that you just cut. I'm awash in paper. The strip of paper that you just cut looks like it's sort of like round, flat, and then round like that. And then when you cut it out, you like bent right along here. And then the center of your wheel was a circle of about that same size, right? That and that and that are all about the same size so that you could tape right there. That was your tape. Yeah. And then you could fold those up, put the hole of your wheel right over it, and that's a way to do it if you don't have one of those little brads. That's a good one. Okay. So now I'm going to be doing my moving eyes. So I'm going to draw that out. So Cecilia, I've been talking about what an amazing artist you are, and people have gotten to see some examples of just things that you're kind of sketching out and working on right now. But I know that you have drawers and drawers full of art. Could you pull out some art for us to look at? Because you're just such a fantastic artist, and I would love to see some.
So this is one of my sketchbooks. I have tons and tons of sketchbooks. So these are my cats. I have 3 cats.
Oh, wow.
One is a troublemaker, so that's why he has to be doing that. Sometimes I love drawing animals, and I love making them wear little clothes. That's just how I am. So see. Sometimes I go to the aquarium and I start drawing at the aquarium the animals because I like. One of the basic things about drawing animals is like you should draw them like either from photos or from life because that way you can learn what they are supposed to look like. So
So, what is this sketchbook for? Like, are you practicing for a book that you're gonna write, or just for ideas that are in your head? Like, what is this sketchbook for?
So it's kind of loaded question. I sometimes I explore characters that I want to make stories about. So this one is one of them actually. So this is little Fennec Fox, and he's a superhero, and his enemy is this guy. So I try exploring the character. So this will be his sidekick, the little cheetah. So, and sometimes I just like drawing as I'm passing the time. Like I have a lunch break and like, okay, I want to be drawing. So I like drawing people too. But this is again is my little character. Kept trying to think like, should I change
Yeah,
the
you're trying out different
colors?
things.
He's a good drawer. Huh.
So
So cute.
for me, having the sketchbook it like helps me. It's my happy place. So if I'm out and about or if I'm at home, I like sketching different things. I like making different characters. Sometimes they have like a story behind. You're like thinking, okay, so what's gonna happen next? Like the mice are getting his food. What is he going to do? Right? Some little characters there. Sometimes like somebody will tell me, oh, I'd really like tapers. I'm like, oh, I can draw a taper. So I draw a little taper.
Oh my
Uh,
gosh. What do you use to draw with? That looks like that doesn't look like permanent. Well, parts of it look like permanent marker. What do you use to draw with?
so what I do is I always start with pencil. Oh, the one I was working on is a clear indication. So for example, this one I started with pencil. I
Uh-huh.
went over with a marker. This is a brush pen. So I went through. I'm going to like finish drawing him. Once I'm finished drawing him, I'm going to erase the pencil lines, and then I use watercolors to draw the to put the color. So for me, the pens are very important. That they're waterproof because
Ah,
if you put the water on top, then they might like get all over. So
that's cool. I've tried to paint with a watercolor with like watercolors one time, and I wasn't super happy with how it turned out, so I didn't do it anymore. But it looks like you're really inspiring me to practice more because I would love to make art that has as much, because the thing I like about the watercolor is it's not just one solid color, like it's got some movement and whatnot to it. How,
so
oh,
sorry.
go ahead.
I was going to say that for me, I used to do only black and white stuff. And then I started with doing with markers. These are all with markers, for
Oh,
example.
that's all with markers.
All with markers. And then as I started drawing more, I found out that the watercolors were just so much easier for me because you can always mix even if you don't have the right color, you can mix it and make the color.
Mm.
Because with the markers I had at some point I had a collection. I actually have like this is my
Oh,
color.
look
So I would have that
at
many markers like carrying them
yeah.
around. So that would be a little
See,
too
now that looks like my notebook. My notebooks look like that. My notebooks don't look like this. Holy moly, these are
so
just.
so this is it's all watercolor. And some of these sketchbooks I use are not meant for watercolor, but it still works somewhat. So
So, how many, if you like, how long have you been like drawing like this for? Like, have you always drawn a lot like this, or did you just start, 5 years ago? How
oh
long have
gosh,
you
no,
been drawing like
I've
this?
drawn all my life. The way you can get really good at drawing is if you love it so much that you just keep doing it.
Mm.
And I've kept doing it for like
It's the same.
years and years.
Like one in the top and one on the
Yeah,
bottom.
that was going to be my next question was how do you get that good at drawing? And it sounds like you draw. That's how you.
Yeah, because if you really like drawing, like you just keep drawing, and you know, sometimes it's hard because like when you're starting out, you draw something and someone will say like, that doesn't look like a chicken, and you'll feel bad, but because you know you have a mental image of what the chicken is supposed to look like, and if this person is saying like, oh, it's not supposed to look like that, well, you know, it's just keep drawing, ignore what people say, and as you will, it's hard because your eyes get a lot more practice than your hands sometimes, so you
Ooh,
see
that's a really
chickens all the time, and you know what your chickens like should look like, and then you try to draw them, and maybe your drawing is not going to be that good, but if you
like that.
just keep trying,
Your eyes
then
get a lot more practice than your hands.
yeah.
Yeah, because your eyes know what they're looking at and they know what it's supposed to be. They have a lot of practice at seeing things, but your hands have to get some practice at drawing things too. I'm drawing a chicken. Here's my chicken. It's gonna be looking across the road over there, but I drew a duck who's like waving at him across the road. Like, hey neighbor, I have a duck and you're a chicken and
So
we're in this together.
And Cecilia,
yeah.
word is coming in from social media that your artwork is beautiful. So people are loving it on Facebook and YouTube. So thank you so much for sharing.
That is because they are smart and observant people. So let's take a look at can you show us any more, Cecilia? We'd love to.
Sure. I mean, I have like tons of sketchbooks.
Wow. Oh,
So
who loved Harry Potter? It was me who loved Harry Potter, but it was Kimber. Kimber loved Harry Potter. Yeah.
so this
Oh,
was
that's so cool.
somebody's kid who like they wanted to have them like look like they were wearing the robes.
That is so cool. So
As
so
a one-eyed cat. I was like, oh well, I can make him into a like sky pirate or something. So so
That's you. I just love how your brain is just like a one-eyed cat. That's a sky pirate, of course. Like this just is also inspiring me to just like all the crazy little things that are in my head to just like put them out somewhere. I bet somebody would think they're funny because I think everything that you're showing us is funny.
at some point I wanted to learn Tai Chi, and so the way my brain works, I had to like visually make the movements. So I drew the all the animals making the movements, and then like whenever like, oh, what's the next like step, and I could visualize the animal. I'm like, oh, okay, so ball in the belly. Okay, I can do that. So
Oh, that's
and I
fun.
take my sketchbooks everywhere. Like we were camping at some point, and like I'm just thinking like, oh, it would be cute if like a little puma was just camping with us.
This is also making me glad that I like watched a lot of Animal Planet when I was a kid because all of these different animals, I'm just like, often felt kind of like a nerd that I like knew the difference between like a puma and and a mountain lion and whatnot. But like that stuff comes in handy when you're making art. I think there's no such thing as like knowing too much. And just like all of the ways that you're putting this into practice in your sketchbook are just really making me excited to go make art again or make the art that I'm making right now. So this is awesome.
Uh, and I have stories that I work on. So I have some characters that I do, or sometimes I watch a movie and I get inspired to draw
Yeah.
this.
You
So
have you ever like illustrated a children's book, like a published one? Because I would love to like
you
buy
know,
this book and have it.
I'm working on that, like getting my stuff out there. So
Yeah.
I was working at school before I moved to Washington, and I didn't have as much time for art, so would just do little sketches instead of like actual finished stuff. So now I'm thinking maybe I'll switch gears. So I'm working on
Yeah.
little stories to show this the same character I've been working on.
What do you, and you work at a library in Washington now, right?
Yes, I do.
Very cool.
So the library is also my happy place. So I can just be exposed to a lot of children's books and
Yeah.
see what is out there and what I can, what kind of things I can make. So yeah, it's great.
And we have a question from social media. We have somebody wondering if you have any favorite illustrators or authors that inspire you.
So a little thing I have, I'm obsessed with graphic novels. So if I don't know if you guys are very familiar with graphic novels. I don't think I have at hand any of them. I have like a whole library filled with graphic novels, but I'm in the wrong room for that.
Do you feel a little naked without all your books of just like, I used to be able to have that right at my fingertips and
I could run and get some, but I won't have you wait. But some of the kids might know the Amulet series by Kazuki Buishi.
Does anybody know that? Have you heard of that series before? If so, like give us a thumbs up or nod your head if you've heard of that before. I don't know that anyone has. Looks like the cactus is nodding his head. Amanda Jean does. Amanda Jean did her little spotlight.
They're very popular.
You work with fourth grade, right, Amanda Jean?
I do. I'm a fourth grade teacher. I'm actually rereading that series right now. It's sitting next to like my fancy chair that I sit in to read. But it's really popular with the third, fourth, fifth age group. I think younger kids can read it too, especially because it's a graphic, novel, which is what's cool about those types of books, because as soon as you add pictures, they can traverse a little bit more of an age range because you're not limited to text. So I do love graphic novels.
Yeah,
that's true.
I would love to make my own. So I've been working on stuff like that. It's just a lot of work to make a graphic novel. But to tie into what Amanda Jean was saying, you can tell from my accent, I'm not a native English speaker. So what I would do when I was little, I would read comic books in English. So that way I got a lot of like vocabulary and I got a lot of grammar. So, because you have the pictures right there and you have the story right there, so it's really easy to follow it. So anyway, I think we have like a bunch of questions that we haven't gotten to. I'll see.
We've been looks like did Gemma have a quick question?
Gemma would like to ask a question. Gemma, go ahead and ask away.
How do you make this stand up?
Which part? To eat bok choy. That's great. So, which part do you want to make stand up?
The bok choy.
The bok choy. Okay. So you want to make that stand all the way up. Do you want to make it pop out like the mouth did, or can you show your soccer ball example?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking of.
Yeah, I think you might need this part, Gemma.
Let me change the camera. So it's popping out, and then I glue the ball into it. So that could be how you do the bok choy. So you draw it right now, but it would be easier if you cut it. So let me see if I can make something.
You kind of cut it out of a separate piece of paper, right?
So let's just pretend this is your bok choy. It's really rough, right? But if you had a piece of paper, and sorry about the black, but that's what I have in hand.
That's all right. This is the time of making do. I feel like someone should write a poem, or perhaps make a pop-up book called The Time of Making Do, which is what we're all doing.
So what you can do is with a separate piece of paper from your bok choy, I'm just doing 2 cuts. I'm folding it up. And I'm folding it back. And when I open it, I can make that pop out. So, and then I would glue the bok choy to that. And when you open it, it pops out. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Thank you.
You're welcome.
So what I'm doing right now is I've got my chicken, my second page of my chicken drawn out, and I cut out the space on the eyes. So to keep her social distance, haha, and this is a duck that's going to be waving and my chicken is going to be giving it a thumbs up, but I wanted to finish the mechanisms part. So on the back here, this is where I'm going to place where the eyes are going to go, and I'm going to cut out 2 other little strips of paper. 1 and 2, and these are what are going to kind of create a little track for this one to go on. So I want to pull it out like this, that way it's I'll have enough room to kind of pull it with my finger over here. So then I'm going to place these strips kind of as close together as I can so that the thing doesn't accidentally come out of it. And then I'm going to grab my tape and tape these strips into place, keeping my eyes right where I want them to be. I need a little longer strip of tape. I was not ambitious enough. There we go. So now I'm going to tape across it here. There we go. And really press it down through there. There's one. And then one more strip of tape. I love this tab mechanism because it's so easy to make. It really comes together super quick. So there's that. And now I've got some eyes. I just have to draw the pupils on there. I'm going to do that with pencil first so that they're the right size.
And Kelsey, as you're drawing, if you could answer a question from Micah. That would be
Yeah, what's your
wonderful.
question, Micah?
I did the where you put the thing through.
Uh-huh.
On this side, are you supposed to take like the circle? Is it supposed to go behind it?
Yeah, so I'll show you on mine, and Cecilia can grab up hers too, but you'll want to, however you have that attached, I have this Brad version on mine here. You're doing it with paper, which is perfect. But then on the other side, that's sort of like the back side there where the 2 things go out like that. And then on the other side, you're gonna need to cut a viewing screen. So it could be this kind of shape. Cecilia cut out like half of her circle. That was her example, there it is. So you'll cut out on your page, you'll cut out your viewing screen, right? And then your circle will rotate through that viewing screen there. Does that make sense, Micah?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, great. Wonderful. And I hope that some of us are finishing up now. I keep losing my marker, but I'll find it sometime. Because I'm just putting the finishing working touches on my chicken here. And then I'd love to see everybody's working projects. I definitely want to do some other things after we're done here to finish it. But now I've got these chicken eyes.
That is awesome.
I love making myself chuckle, man. It's a good time. So I'm also going to do something that I saw on a lot of the pop-up books, which is that they like kind of taught you how to use it a little bit. So if you were supposed to do something, they gave you a little like instruction like this. So there we go. So now if I wanted to make it a real book, I would just tape the back of this page and the back of this page. I would just tape them together. But because we're a little short on time, I'll put those finishing touches on later. I want to go to you guys, if we can go to gallery view here. Even if you're not totally done, I'd love to see what is working right now on your books. Or if you want to even just tell us your joke. You've seen Cecilia's and my jokes. What was your joke? I'm really interested in Micah's. He's got the setup. I need the punchline. Tell us your joke, Micah.
So mine is, well, I'm not done with the other side, but I was gonna make my circle where you like spin it and it could tell word by word.
Oh, that's great. I love that idea.
And, well, mine was, why did the soccer ball cross the road?
Why?
It's not the best, but it's to yell at his teammate.
know what? Sometimes that is the best part of sports. is being involved with a team. I'll put it that way. How about you, Kat and Elise? Looks like you might have something to show off. Do you want to show yours? What you got so far? Oh, it's so beautiful and tiny. I'm in
Let's see
love.
what it is.
This is
Ooh.
the sun,
Uh-huh.
and this is the moon.
Uh-huh. I like the craters on the moon.
and
That's
the
beautiful.
star.
And a star. Look at those things popping up.
This is Saturn.
Saturn. I love it. That is so cool. It looked like you used some really cool techniques. Can you show us a little bit closer? I'd love to see how you got those things to pop up. Was there string in there? Did I spy some string?
There's tape.
Oh, it's tape. I see. And so you've got your book that you had made, and then you kind of taped those things up in the middle. That is so cool, Gemma. And it kind of shows all these different celestial bodies. That's great. Congratulations.
Wonderful,
Nice
Kat.
work.
Thank you.
Yeah, good job. Oh, Kat, excuse me. I said Gemma. That was the last person. How about who else wants to show something off? Let's go to Cecilia really quick. I want to check in on how yours is going. We were distracting you the whole time.
Yeah.
So you're making that tab.
Yeah, I'm making the tab that is going to move. I was going to say, since I want the nice big drawing of the crocodile, my tab is bigger,
Yeah.
right? So what I did is I have the thing that I'm pulling, and this is to guide it. I don't know if you can see.
Yeah,
but
you made a piece of paper to back it to hold it in place.
Yeah,
Rather
so-
than the two strips of paper
Uh-huh.
like I did, you made some backing stuff.
So I can just put it through, if I can actually put it
Yeah.
through, sorry.
That's all right.
And that way I'll be able to put this mechanism. Now with this mechanism, one of the tricks I've seen is that it needs to be a third of the page, because you have, right now the tab is this long.
Yeah.
When I pull it, it'll be hidden here,
Yeah.
but and showing here. So it has to be a third of the page. So
Yeah.
You want some?
That's a good tip to put in there.
Mhm.
Very
because
nice.
it's, you know, it's
Looks like
it's just
Aviva
that
has
one.
something to show off. Show off for us, Aviva. We want to see.
Mine, it was, why did the duck cross the road?
Why did the duck cross the road?
Because it thought it was a water chicken, and it did go.
Oh my gosh, look at this wheel. It's a water chicken.
And then
What happens when you turn it?
there was an
Oh,
and then the duck.
look. That's awesome, Aviva. I love it. That's so funny. That's so funny. Kimber has one to show off. Oh, there we go. Yeah, that's great. Show off, Kimber. What you got?
Okay. So I haven't named it yet, but it's
Okay.
Why did the chicken cross the road?
Yeah. I love the backing you put back there too to make it like that red. Did you put another piece of paper back there?
Yeah, there's another piece
Smart.
of paper.
Smart. Love it. What's the second page?
Question mark.
You're adding some suspense?
So when I taped these two together, there was just this blank page.
Yeah.
So I put
You
something there.
added something there. Smart. And what's the last page? Uh-huh. He was practicing social distancing. There we go. And there's our little chicken. That's awesome. That's awesome. Who else has one they want to show off? Good job, Kimber.
I'm about
great.
done.
Let's see. Can we go back to gallery view to see if there's any others to show off? Looks like Sigrid's got one, and then we'll go to Bridget. Show us, Sigrid. What you got?
So basically, it's called a joke.
A joke.
It's a joke.
Call it like it is.
The whale is screaming, "Why did the whale cross the ocean?"
Why did the whale cross the ocean?
And then here, there's this question mark.
Uh-huh.
And wait. To get to the other tide.
To get to the other tide. That's great. That's great. You know, Matt just let me know what time it is actually. So we're going to have to sign off for now. But if you guys on Zoom want to stick around for a couple minutes, we can take a look at some other people's after we have finished up. But let me do our little outro bit here so people know who we are and how to find us. And then again, if you're on Zoom and you want to stick around for a couple minutes, I'd love to see everybody else's too. So hopefully you loved participating with us. My name's Kelsey, and over there is our little Matt bot. That's Matt Chilbert. We are Code Joy. So we do online teaching and online classes via video, via Zoom and Google Hangouts and all that jazz. So that's Code Joy. If you want to learn more about us, you can actually visit us on our website. Let me get my cardboard organized here. So you can go to our website, which is codejoyedu.com, and you can learn more about what we do, find out what some of our other upcoming classes are, including tomorrow, Wednesday, at 1 p.m. Pacific, 4 p.m. Eastern. We're doing a class just like this, but we're going to do different pop-up mechanisms. So we're going to have Cecilia back, which I'm really excited about, and we're going to do a similar class, but different mechanisms. Also, if you want to help us out, we keep all of the classes that we do for Family Maker Camp and everybody at this point free. So the way that we make money is if you go to our website and you give us a tip. So you can go to our contribute page there. But you can also help us out. If you don't have treasure, you can give us your voice a little bit. And you can tag us. This is me. I'm on Twitter. You can also tag Code Joy, the business. You can also tag Matt. He loves that little cardboard heart that he has. And you can also tag Family Maker Camp. This is the hashtag that we're using for all of the different projects that we're doing with Family Maker Camp. So you can do hashtag make together. That would be great too. Or if you have any questions, you can also just email me. My email address is kelsey@codejoyedu.com, and that will get to me and Matt, even Family Maker Camp if you needed to. But let me go to Cecilia, too. Thank you so much for joining us today, Cecilia.
You're welcome. I hope,
do you have a
people have
website that you'd like anyone to check out, or a Twitter handle or anything like that?
So I have several Twitter handles. So for my robotics and pop-up stuff, I am I should write it down like you did, so that way it'll be.
We'll be so prepared for tomorrow. It'll be great.
Yeah. Let me change
our camera there. I'm always, this is not to make you self-conscious, but I'm always really interested in what artists' handwriting looks like.
Oh gosh, like, my handwriting is awful.
It's pretty standard. It's great.
So at Cecilia Hillway or at CO Hillway.
Mm-hmm.
That's especially on Instagram. That's I have both on Instagram and Twitter. These two. And CO Hillway is where I have more of my artwork on
and you
my
should
website.
Definitely check her out on Twitter if you want to spit things across the room, because she's always making me laugh with her art and her robots. So also cohillway.com.
That's my website.
Wonderful. Well, we'll pop back over to us over here. I'll zoom out a little bit so you can see a little bit more of the stuff. And please join us tomorrow when we will be doing more pop-up book stuff. I believe we still have about 5 spots left in our class for tomorrow. We like to keep the classes pretty small. But if you want to join in live from Zoom, definitely head to our website and you can join us live. So a big thank you to Family Maker Camp. Thank you so much for having us this week. And Jillian, do you want to say anything about Family Maker Camp just to close out?
Yeah, thank you guys for joining us. Family Maker Camp, again, is free for all. We're so excited to have partners, Code Joy, Dr. Sparks, joining us to bring this to you. Please learn more about us at make.co and sign up for Maker Camp. Sign up for our newsletters, our projects at www.makercamp.com. Wow, that was a lot. Thank you.
No. Makercamp.com, easy to remember. Well, thank you so much, everybody. And we will stop our live stream from here, but thank you so much for joining us and keep making.